How's it going, beautiful people of the base? Your man Carlos Rojas here, your real estate agent with Frank the Bank, the president of Lincoln Lending. And guys, we got a great show for you guys today. As always, we're going to go over rates. We're also going to be talking about the new NAR Association settlement case. Big news coming out of that case. Everybody's talking about it. I don't know if you heard.
Everybody's talking about
this. I got the question at the Baseball Little League. I got it at soccer. Every person that I'm meeting, the inspector the other day.
Stop freaking out, people.
Yeah.
Stop freaking out.
It's actually going to help us, and we're going to talk about that. And also, if you have squatter issues, or if you ever are one of those persons that are afraid to deal with squatters, especially if you want to be an investor and stuff like that, we got a case that happened in New York that, you know, a homeowner got really upset.
I can't wait for this.
Have you seen it?
I've seen a little bit of
it.
Okay,
she got mad, man. She got mad.
If you're a squatter,
she started
stay
screaming.
tuned.
Yeah. No, and if you're one that wants to get a squatter out, I got your back on this one.
Yes,
okay?
sir. So, hey, guess what? We don't have them in Florida.
Yeah.
Well, I wonder why.
I don't know. Do we not?
Yeah, no, we do.
Okay.
But not like other states.
Because I had some issues with some squatters.
No, I'm going to hear the story. I'm going to be excited to hear this.
All right, guys.
I know how I would deal with a squatter.
Yeah, me too. Let's go ahead and get started here with the rates as always. So compared to last week, we are pretty much the same.
Yeah. Tiny bit lower. Interesting.
I got the side by side from last week here.
What is our last
week? 7.52 and 7. Yeah. So about.
Oh man, I was wrong.
No, you weren't wrong. You were right about 0.004.
Yeah.
So it went down.
I'm a mathematician.
Just a little bit.
Right. Yeah.
So basically, guys, what this means is, things haven't changed. Right. Joe Biden just said that things are going to get better, and we're still waiting.
So Joe Biden also said that he was going to give us $400 a month for our mortgage payments. Carlos, have you heard anything about this?
Not yet. It seems like it's, vote for me and I'll do this for you type of scheme.
Oh, that's how it works?
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, okay. So we got to vote for him to get the $400, right?
Yeah. Hey, guys, by the way, if you're joining us right here live, this episode is live. It's our first live episode. We do appreciate you guys being in here with us. Please make sure you share this on your Facebook pages, on everywhere that you can know. We got information here for both people that are homeowners, people that are planning on getting into real estate, as well as real estate agents, mortgage brokers, anybody who wants good information on this podcast right now. And if you want to comment, I do have the comment here live, so we can go ahead and interact with you guys. This is kind of neat because I like the live stuff, and I know that Frank does too.
Hey, this guy called me old before the show because we're setting up the Facebook.
He's trying to set up the Facebook Live with a meeting, and I'm like, Frank, we're just trying to push people in there,
Carlos,
man.
If we do this, he's like, give me your phone. You're an old man. Give me your phone.
You know what? You got the voice, man. Just sit down, talk. You got that pretty voice. People enjoy that.
I just come to look good. That's all. I'm not the tech guy. That's for sure.
All right. So let's go ahead and get started here. So first things first, let's go ahead and get into the NAR situation.
Wait, hold on. Let's talk about rates for a second.
Oh, yeah.
Because we showed it to him. We got to talk about him for a second. So the rates stayed the same. But what happened this week, the big news of the week was the Fed meeting.
Yes, sir.
Okay, the Fed met, I think it was yesterday.
Yeah, tell me about that because I don't know nothing about that.
So the Fed paused again, right?
Okay.
And again, the Fed remember, it's not directly tied to your 30 fixed mortgage payment, but it's the one that everybody hears about because once a month, around the 20th of the month, the Federal Reserve meets, and then they say what they're going to do with rates. Are they going to raise them? Are they going to lower them? Are they going to stay the same?
Right.
Earlier predictions last year was they were going to drop them 6 times this year.
Right.
Now they're saying they might.
Times?
Right. Now they're down to saying they're going to do it 3 times. Okay. The last 3 meetings they have paused. They have not raised them, which overall is a good thing, right? Because if they raise them, it's a bad thing. If they lower them, it's a really good thing.
Yeah.
So good news is the market has stayed where it is. It has stayed relatively stable, but they believe that inflation is still a problem, which is the reason they're not dropping the rate. But that's why from last week to this week, we saw the rate stay about the same. But if you could, can you split screen that again with the Lincoln rate?
I got you right here.
So let's point this out to the listeners again, especially on our first live one. Okay, you see what Carlos has on the screen on the left-hand side is Google. Right, that's literally what he just typed in. 30-year fixed rates. Boom. This is what it shows.
This is from last week, but guys, it didn't change.
Same thing. 0.0004. Right. So it's a 7.5% 30-year fixed. But if you look at the Lincoln lending rate sheet on the right-hand side, we are at 6%.
That's right.
All right. So here's everybody's asked, well, what is that? How is that possible? It's very simple, guys. On the left is retail. On the right is wholesale. Okay. you can get lower rates. That is what we want our listeners to know, is that just because Google says 7.5%, if you're working with a reputable mortgage brokerage business, they should be able to get you as low as 6%. And if you want to pay a bunch of points, you could be in the 5s right now. Yep. So that's positive. That's really what I want everybody to hear, is the rates are not terrible. They are much better than what's on TV. Focus on talking to a reputable mortgage brokerage business.
Absolutely agree.
Contact frankthebank.com.
That's right. And the information, as always, is going to be on the description. So if, for some reason you don't want to rewind the video, you can always go into the description.
Beautiful.
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get into this right now. So as we can see right here on screen, National Association of Realtors reaches agreement to resolve nationwide claims brought by home sellers. First thing that I want to talk about is, because this is the first time we talk about this. When I first saw this whole case happening, the first thing that came to my mind is what changed.
Right.
Like, and here's why. Now I understand something that actually changed, but here's why I thought about what changed. Basically, the seller didn't want to pay buyer commission.
Right.
There's no seller that I've met that ever wanted to pay buyer commission.
What about a seller that wants to pay a seller commission?
Right. So, if you're a home seller, you typically don't want to have to pay any type of fees or any commissions or anything. Obviously, you want to make as much money on your equity as possible.
But do you want to sell the house on your own?
That's right. So let's talk about that, because, the thing is that at the end of the day, when I sat down with my listing presentations and I'm talking to these homeowners, I'm simply saying, hey, I charge 3%. How much do you want to offer to the buyer's agent?
You already do that?
I already do that.
Okay.
That's why I was like, well, how are people doing it? Because
So how does that conversation go?
Well, if you sit down with a client and you're like, hey, I charge 6%. 3% goes to the buyer's agent, 3% goes to the listing agent. That doesn't sound good, because you don't charge 6%. You charge 3% or 2%. Let's just talk real numbers, is between 2 to 3% on the normal. In my personal case, I'm willing to tell you right now in this video, I adjust to my client depending on my client. Of
course.
It's the way it is. Some clients, like if I've already worked with you in the past and I have a relationship with you and you need my help in certain ways, or if you're trying to get out of a bad situation, I'm not here to screw you over. But obviously, my job, it's timely. It costs, there's how I feed my kids. Don't try to take my money away.
But let me ask you a very specific question about that as a realtor. Okay, so I'm Johnny Consumer, right? Frankie Consumer, and you just sat in my house and you told me you just said it two different ways, right? You said one way that you present it is you say, hey, I get 3% for my services. What would you like to offer to a buyer's agent to show your house, right? And then the other way is you said I do 6%, right?
Right.
I believe that the crux.
Well, I don't do the 6%.
No, I know you don't.
But I found out that some people are doing it, and I feel like that's too much explanation when at the end of the day, the truth is you're charging half of that typically, or your own percentage, and you offer.
I think that's the crux of this lawsuit, right? I think that's what a lot of people don't understand and they're missing in this lawsuit, is the lawsuit wasn't saying that you can't present it the way you present it, because you are presenting it ethically and correctly.
Right.
All right. You are giving them a choice. What this lawsuit was trying to say was that sellers were suing and believing that they weren't given a choice because a realtor presented it the other way and said it's 6% and 3 goes to the buyer's agent and 3 goes to the seller. So all they did was they just said, you can't do that. Right. You can't list the buyer's agent commission. So I think what you're doing is right. And I won't get to my conclusion yet, because I want you to speak to this whole thing.
There's a couple of things that I like and I don't like. What I like is I see a lot of realtors freaking out, and that kind of like makes me a little happy.
Yeah.
Listen, man, I've met a lot of realtors in this business, and some of them, like I can name a few that are really amazing that I look up to, or I look forward to working with them. The majority, I sometimes I want to punch somebody in the face, man, because they can
shouldn't have a license.
They can ruin the deal. They act immature. They don't have any respect for the other side, and sometimes that's really bad to deal with. I mean, we've gotten to the point right now where buyers and sellers are not even sitting at the same table at title, right?
I know, isn't that crazy?
Right.
When we got in the industry, especially 25 years ago, when I got in the industry,
that was a normal thing.
Every
it was kind of
closing,
cool. Right?
It was everybody.
Right.
Like shaking hands, breaking bread. Hey, tell me about the garage door opener. Hey, wait, what's up with this window? It was a good. Now it's separation.
With that being said, I have full respect for my side, right? Like you hired me as your buyer's agent or your listing agent. I'm on your side 100%. I don't want you to lose. I'm representing you mainly, no matter what. But showing respect to the other side, it's in a lot of ways, it gives us more money at the end of the day.
100%.
It makes deals happen. A lot of the things is a lot of times it's a little bit of therapy. It's a little bit of education.
It is.
It's a lot of things that realtors have to go through to actually make the deal close, especially when we're dealing with certain things that arise during the deal that are hard, right?
Right.
So the utmost respect for buyers agents out there. I've done it, especially my first year. I did a lot of buyers representation, and it's not easy, man. That job right there is you can show homes for 6 months and then get somebody under contract. Some may say, "Oh, that's a lot of money" or whatever. Or some buyers may think that's a lot of money, but in reality, when you think about the time that you put into it, it's
time
decent,
is money.
It's good, but the purpose of buyers is to have 2, 3, 4, 5 deals at the same time. If not, you may not be making enough money to pay the bills. It's just the reality. You have to be
100%.
active. You have to be hustling the whole time. So I have a lot of respect for buyers agents. And if I'm listing a property, I want them to get paid their commission.
Right.
So I will bring it up continually. And, I will continue to bring up to my sellers.
Well, you should.
You should pay buyers commission. And I'll tell them why they should pay buyers commission.
Right.
It's very important. I think it's a good conversation to have.
So what do you think are
deserve
issues?
it.
Do you? I'll tell you my opinion too. But what do you think's an issue in this lawsuit? How do you think this is going to affect the market? What's your opinion?
I think it's gonna clean up the amount of agents that we have. I think it's gonna clean up the agents that are not willing to hustle, the agents that are not willing to ask for the sale. A lot of agents have it easy when they just offer a commission. So you just gotta get them on the contract, and that's it. In this case, you have to ask and negotiate for the commission. So just like I have to negotiate for your closing costs sometimes as a buyer, I'm gonna have to negotiate for more commission with the sellers. In which case, if I have the perfect buyer and the house has been sitting there for a very long time and I'm representing my buyer, I'm coming after you, seller, to pay my commission. It's just the way it goes. It's going to be the name of the business right now. But in terms of I'm representing you as a seller, it's the other way around. I'm not wanting to pay any commission because I want to represent the seller right. And because we're not listing it, that's the big thing right here. We're not listing the commission amount on the MLS. We can write something like... seller concessions approved or something like that.
Are you allowed to say seller will pay buyer's commission, but not put an amount?
No, I don't think so.
You can't put that?
You cannot say set buyer commission on the MLS at all. That's the rule.
Okay, so
that's what I believe, and I just did a whole bunch of homework on it. Unless something changes, that's the main thing. So what that does is that it's trying to force the buyer's agent to negotiate their own commission, both with the buyer as well as with the seller.
Let's stop and focus on that for a second, because let's talk about real life scenarios. So the part of this crux of this lawsuit is they claimed that home prices were increased unethically, unnaturally, because they were told that they had to pay our buyer's agent commission, which we know is not the case. No seller has ever been forced to pay it, but certain realtors may have presented it that way.
Which is why I don't understand this case, because how do you win a case like that? If you didn't have to take that contract.
No.
You could have offered less commission. You could have done a bunch of things. So I don't understand why they even won the case.
I have bad representation by NAR. That's the only thing I can say, bad attorneys. But follow me for a second.
Go ahead.
If the problem was presented that home values were unnaturally increased to cover this, let me ask you a question. If you're going in front of your seller and you're saying, do you want to pay it or not, or you just want to pay me as your listing agent, and the seller says, no, I don't want to pay a buyer's agent commission, do you think that's going to change what he wants to list his house for?
Absolutely. The whole idea is going to change everything.
Right, but here's my thinking. It's not going to change the price he lists for it.
Right.
Because he wants the money.
Right.
The seller wants the freaking money. So he's not going to be like, Carlos, list it for 3% less.
Right.
Why would you do that?
Right. No, that's still going to be there. But
No.
the point is,
It's not going to change the values.
Right. That won't change. You're absolutely
It never
right.
did change the value.
Yeah.
But okay, so you brought up the other big issue. So it's not advertising, and I think what a lot of realtors, buyers agents right now are concerned is they're saying, okay, I have to go negotiate my commission with my buyers. I actually disagree. You know why? I'm going to tell you why. Is that I think every real estate transaction starts with the listing. It doesn't start with the buyer.
Absolutely.
Right?
I couldn't agree more.
So guess what? It comes down to what sellers will pay a buyer's agent commission.
But there are going to be agents that will use this to their advantage, and I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna be one of them. If I do work with a buyer, I will start doing buyer contracts.
Oh, I think you should have been. I think every agent should have been doing that.
I did
since
not
the
do that
beginning.
before.
Right.
I didn't, because at the end of the day, I wanted the client to feel free that if I didn't do my job, they can go ahead and hire somebody else. I don't I never liked locking anybody up in a contract unless I had to. Like listing agreement, you have to do those, right? But when it comes to a buyer representation, I never did any contracts. Like if I told them, if I don't do my job, go hire somebody else.
Right.
I don't need to lock you up in a contract.
So from that standpoint,
right now, I do feel like I will get that contract signed, and I do need some type of commission paid to me, even if it's a small one.
But that conversation then becomes
with the buyers.
If Mr. Buyer, now I'm you, Mr. Buyer, if the house you choose is listed by a seller who's unwilling to pay my commission, I would like you to sign this agreement so I still get paid by you.
Absolutely.
Will that weed out some buyers for agents? Yes, it probably will, because some are going to be like, no. Some can't afford it, right?
Some can't
so some are
say
going to be
that.
like, I can't do it.
Some can't say that to their clients. They're afraid of
You're
talking
100%
like that to their
right.
clients.
But going back to this whole problem, the whole problem is on what are the sellers going to do, not really the buyer. Because if that seller is willing to offer the commission, which I am a firm believer, Carlos, that we might see maybe 15-20% of sellers make the wrong decision and say they're not going to pay a buyer's agent, it's not going to change anything. What it does, though, okay, for you buyer's agents listening, is now, and a big real estate broker had this conversation with me on Tuesday, because we were talking about what was going to change for his life. His exact words were, he was annoyed, and I'm not going to give his name, but he goes, well, you know what sucks? He goes, now when my buyer wants to see these 10 houses this weekend, instead of me just looking on the MLS and knowing, what the commissions are, now I'm going to have to call every single house, every single listing agent, and find out who's paying and who's not. And that will tell me whose house I'm going to show.
I would never do that.
Right? Most would be, you would hope most would be ethical, not do it. But you know what I said back to him? And this, listen, he probably didn't like it. I go, oh, so that means you're actually going to have to do a little due diligence before you take your client out. Now think about this. I've been in the business 25 years. I was in the business long before Zillow and Realtor.com, and long before buyers had it at their fingertips.
That's crazy, Frank.
Damn it, I am old. He called me old, and he's freaking right. So anyway, but listen, here was the difference. Back then, there was no Zillow. So who had the data? You did.
Yeah.
If I wanted to find out what was listed, I had to have my realtor represent me.
Yeah.
Zillow, I'm sorry, has fucked everybody.
Yeah.
Zillow is the problem. And guess what? All the MLS in the country gave all their data to Zillow.
Yeah. But all the agents have to do is basically just get used to the new way.
Well, but Carlos, I still think you should research what the houses pay, because think about it like this. It's not about ethics or not. It's about this. You have a buyer who really doesn't want to have to come out of pocket 3%. So your buyer would like you to tell him which houses pay commission and which don't. Right. So don't be unethical. I know you won't be, but I don't think realtors should be unethical and show the houses. But that's going to happen
based on what you said right there. That's what I'm saying. So they're trying to take manipulation off. Yeah. And it feels like now more manipulation is going
Hell on. Yeah. Give me that. It is more manipulation.
Let's do it again.
Boom.
So besides that, though,
it's more.
I would say if you're an agent and you're watching this and you don't go through that. That's a waste of time. Look, if you want to go through that, I'm telling you, I'm taking laps on you as an agent. I'm taking laps, major laps. I would never sit here and go through and call every single house to see who's offering commission. No. Because guess what? I'm showing 10 houses. My buyer's going to pick one of them.
Right.
So why am I going to waste time talking to all these houses when I could just talk to the one that they picked?
That's true.
So once they pick the house,
because at the end of the buyer's agent agreement, you're 100% right.
I mean,
if they won't, you're going to have to do that research.
But that's what my question is. So after, let's say we find the house, right? I haven't done any of my research. Right. I find the house. I call the buyer, the listing agent. Hey, I got a buyer for you. What's your commission on this?
Yep.
Oh, we're not offering any commission. Oh, we're not offering any contracts. What happens there?
You know what I'm saying? What he just said is the reason that I don't think we should have to worry about this.
This is gonna change everything. This is gonna. I will with my listings. I'm going to basically just. It's funny because I said at the beginning I said nothing's changed, and then I'm like, you're gonna change everything.
That's why we
listen.
do it live, baby.
Listen, nothing's gonna change in the terms of price values, people giving commission. The sellers are still gonna give commissions because you gotta figure out how to sell. And the only way that this would change in a big way, in my opinion, would be if buyers agents are not needed. And that's what this attack, in my opinion, is. This case is about eliminating buyers agents. And unfortunately, for a lot of you people that want to do that, that will never happen. I've worked with so many first-time home buyers. A lot of these people are lost. A buyer's agent, especially a first-time home buyer agent, is so essential. They're so important. They have all their information. They got to talk to this client, 2, 3, 4 times about the same thing because they have no idea what they're doing. Now, sometimes we deal with experienced buyers or investors that already know everything, but they don't want to deal with the time and they pay you for your time. And those might benefit out of this a little bit. But in terms of first-time home buyers, which is the majority of purchases, right, Frank?
Yeah, at least 50%.
Yeah.
So let me give a really good analogy. I just did this in a big presentation the other day. Everything he just said can be summed up in one analogy. All right, you've got the experienced sellers, the non-experienced sellers. You got the buyers. You got to walk through everything. All right, think about it. You've got certain people who book their vacations on their own. They go to TripAdvisor, they research their hotels, they get reviews, they do all this stuff, they book their whole vacation, they do their whole agenda. And then you got the other half of the people, who do they use? A travel agent.
That's right.
Right? Same exact thing in real estate, right? You got the people, no matter what, who would do it on their own and the other people who wouldn't, right? I agree with the main thing is, I don't think shit's going to change. Values aren't going to change. Yeah. And sellers are still going to pay buyer's agents. And if they don't, then when their neighbor sells 2 weeks faster than them for the same price, they're going to be like, how'd that happen? Oh, I paid the commission of 2% or 3%. Right. Here's another, let me ask you another question.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah,
it's true.
Right. That's a good one right there.
So here's another question.
Yes, sir.
You're the listing agent.
Yep.
And people are talking about circumventing buyer's agents, right?
Okay.
Do you think listing agents are going to be okay doing the transaction for both parties for the same amount of money? Shouldn't the listing agent, if he's representing the buyer and the seller, get more than 3%?
Right.
Because now you're literally doing the job of two agents.
Well, that's the other thing. There's agents out there that are going to that are still planning on asking for 6%.
Bingo. That's what one of the brokers I talked to said.
That's actually a really smart idea. I'm debating whether I should do
it's
that.
Not
because
fair for you.
Here's the thing: if I ask for 6%, and then I know that I could use part of that percentage to offer to the buyer's agent, so I could use that as a negotiating tactic.
Done.
And at the end of the day, if the buyer's agent is weak and I get him 1%, then
you
I'm
right
more
here,
money.
Carlos Rojas, right here, just figured out the solution. For the listing agents, all you do is negotiate a higher percentage than 3% because, guys, if you don't, you're doing
Frank,
double the work.
But you got to be careful because then down the street, somebody is going to list for 3%. And they're going to go with the lower percentage.
Dude, guys are doing it for $1,000.
Here's what happens. This is what I'm saying. So everything's changing for us realtors. We got to adapt. We got to do better. We got to negotiate more. We got to make sure that we adjust to the system. But for you home buyers and home sellers, literally the numbers are not going to be changing. Because if you list a house, right, and let's say you list it for the right price, but for some reason it's not selling, let's say your house has some issues or whatever, you're sitting on the market for 30 days, they're not just going to come with lower offers. Like, you might get a buyer's agent that now that they see that the house has been listed for longer, they're gonna be more attracted to the house, and what they're gonna do is they're gonna offer a better amount for your house, but they're gonna ask you for a commission. And you, as the home seller, you're not gonna say no because you don't got nothing else. So again, nothing changed. It's just the way that we are going to negotiate at the negotiating table is going to be different, and I'm honestly looking forward to it because that's one of my favorite things to do. Get the best deal for my client.
Only two material things are really changing with us, right? And I will speak to this from a finance standpoint.
Yes, sir.
Veteran VAs. Okay, this has come up. Have you heard about this? So the VA is the only loan program that does not allow the borrower, the veteran, to pay the buyer's agent commission. So this is one thing that people are going to have to watch out for, and this is something that probably will have to be changed.
Wait, so you can figure out how to pay the buyers?
No, so listen to this. So you've got your buyer, and he signs your buyer's agent agreement, where he's like, Carlos, I'm going to pay you 3%. No problem. Go find me the house. And he's a veteran, right? He's not allowed to. When it gets to closing, he cannot legally, on a VA loan, pay you your commission.
Even if he has the cash to it?
Doesn't matter. I don't care if he's got $1 billion. He's not allowed.
What the heck is that?
Exactly. So this is why I think all this shit is going to get changed, because all of a sudden we just screwed with every veteran in this country. Yeah. And that's why I'm hearing the Department of Justice isn't getting involved and these other people are getting involved, because what will have to happen is the VA will have to change its lending guidelines from the top to allow them to pay your commission. or the seller's just going to pay the commission. So here you go, sellers. Are you going to not sell to veterans? Are you going to stop selling your houses to veterans because you don't want to pay a buyer's agent commission? Who's going to fight for your country?
Yeah.
Who's going to protect your freedom?
Yeah.
Right?
This is very true.
You're just screwed with the veterans.
Absolutely.
Right? So
the other thing, now that we're talking about that, let's talk a little bit about history. So
yeah,
there used to be a time where buyer's agents did not exist. It wasn't until 1990, if I'm correct.
Oh, let's see this.
Somewhere around, let's see here.
It's a good article.
In the beginning, the real estate industry traces its original back to the Industrial Revolution. Okay, 1908, right? So that's when real estate kind of like realtors,
in the last 1960s.
Right. And then we got coming out of the Dark Ages. All right, here we go. And this is when things started getting good. So think about this. We're actually going back in time to when things were not that great.
That's only 10 years before I started.
Yeah, and we talk about steering clients. Like this has a lot to do with it. Like they're making it easier for buyers agents to steer their clients. Guys, think about that.
Of course.
So unless the buyers are looking on Zillow and looking for the house that they want, if they're only looking at the houses that the agents send them, you're making it easier for agents to steer. So it's just this just doesn't make sense in a lot of ways.
It hurts the consumer. Like all legal things like this hurt the consumer.
So it says here, it wasn't until early 1990s that buyer's agency was established. With this, for the first time, agents represented the buyer's best interest. So think about that. Like we need the buyers to best interest to be represented. It's like I said, it's very important. First time home buyers.
I think it's very dangerous for a buyer to go in and make an offer only with the listing agent. Yeah. Because if something hits the fan, who do you think, even though legally they're supposed to represent both of you, who do you really think they're going to help?
Right, they're gonna help the initial,
their initial customer,
100%.
The person they've been working with for months and spent all the money on. They don't care about you.
Yeah. Absolutely. Sorry. I completely agree. No, I completely agree. We want to sell that house.
That's their job.
Not saying that I do that, but maybe a little biased towards my listing, because they chose me. They could have chosen another agent.
You are one of the most ethical agents I've ever met in my entire career.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you, Frank. Man, I've been hearing good stuff like that all week.
Man.
My inspector told my client yesterday, and just so you know, I know Carlos is Cuban, but he's really good. And I'm like, dang. And he's like, because a lot of Cubans in this Tampa Bay area, they're shady, man.
Oh my God.
I was like, okay, I'll take that as a good compliment.
Like, even though you're a little brown, you're still a good guy. That's not what he said. Like,
well, he's from Venezuela, so
he can say it. Yeah. I can say that.
You can say whatever you want, Frank. Okay, if you're my friend, you can say whatever you want. I don't take no criticism.
No, it's just funny how he put that. But to the point, you are very ethical, but you just made a super accurate statement that I hope people understood. As ethical as Carlos is, he's being ethical to his seller. Yeah, if he has a little bit more care about his seller. So buyers, you need a buyer's agent.
Absolutely. So next up, guys, just a little local news here. If you live in the Tampa Bay area, Tampa West Shore Plaza Mall could be demolished for a new development.
I didn't hear about this. You're educating me on this,
bro.
one.
I got your back, bro. Let's go.
You told me it was going to be a good show. You didn't tell me they're tearing down the old mall.
Yeah, man. So I already enjoy this mall a lot. I do know that like Sears closed up and.
The mall itself is antiquated because then you got International so close. So I think it's pulled a lot of stuff.
Look at this.
Looks awesome, dude.
Now, this is coming from the Tampa Bay Times, which is not my favorite source of news, but
they did name us best of the best this year, so I might believe in them.
So yeah. The West Shore Plaza Mall in Tampa could soon be demolished to make way for a sprawling mixed-use development with shopping, apartments, offices, medical facilities, and more. So here's what I love about this. So I do feel like Tampa is too spread, right? Right. There's not enough like city life.
Yeah.
So when you think about what they're doing with the Tampa Bay Rays, right, and they're trying to do kind of like the same thing. You got apartments, you got hotels. Yep. That way people can actually experience a whole weekend of a game or maybe a couple of games. That's more fun. Because I go to St. Pete right now to watch the Rays, which I'm a big baseball fan. Cuban background. My dad loved baseball. I played baseball when I was younger. And every time I go over there and I get out of the stadium, I want to do something else. They're closing.
Yeah.
St. Pete is closing. Why? Like, this is why I hated the fact that they made an agreement in St. Pete. I wanted them to come to Tampa because I know we're going to have more of a packed stadium with the, Lightning and the Bucks and all the core of the fans in here, But
I get it. They're building these city centers. Like, have you been to the Midtown over here? Right
The
off,
one in Del Mabry?
Yeah, Dale Mabry and 275.
I have not yet, but I keep driving by it. I do want to experience it.
It's nice. It's nice.
Right.
It's small though, but they had the right idea where they're putting residential around the commercial and the hotels and all that.
They
stuff.
need to link all these cities up. They need to do some type of underground subway or some type of fast subway where you could go to downtown Tampa to that.
Yep.
That you could go to this thing that
Downtown
they're
St.
building in
Pete.
West Shore and then somewhere else in St. Pete. So if you work for the city of Tampa, communicate this to the city of Tampa. People
we
need
don't
to
have mass
commute better.
transit. It's what you just said was mass transit.
Right.
We don't have a subway or a monorail or something like that.
Yeah.
Now, did you know? Now, I've never ridden it, right? But there is supposedly a boat service that does go from downtown Tampa, Channelside, and Armature Works.
I get it, but
to
how long
downtown
is that
St.
going to
Pete.
take? We need fast, dude.
Yeah.
We're business people.
I need bullet trains.
Right. Listen, Miami is Miami because they're a fast city. Same with New York. New York's not that fast anymore right now. But basically, like fast cities, more business comes about, more people get to work and stuff like that.
Yeah.
In Tampa, the main thing is you got to drive everywhere.
Yep.
Just think about real estate agents that live in these communities. You can connect 4 communities, and those realtors can just focus on their individual.
If we had a train system or a
condos,
monorail,
right? That's what I'm saying.
Just hop the bay.
Yeah, and it doesn't
get over
need to go
Pinellas.
all over Tampa. Obviously, we got places where I like my houses and subdivisions, like Old Smart Town and Country and all that stuff. But if you have like small, little cities or small little developments
how about
this
you got like Midtown, Hyde Park, go across the bay,
Absolutely.
about Channelside. You could connect 3 or 4 places.
We got the weather to get out of the apartment, out of the condo, go down to the pool, go to the subfloor to make sure, we got our clubs or whatever, people, nightlife that they want to enjoy. Then we can, if we could get on a train and go quick to St. Pete or go like, I'm talking about 5-10 minutes. I'm talking about something fast. If I could get to downtown in 5-10 minutes, imagine the amount of traffic that is going to be cut, which is important for this city and every city around the United States right now. I mean, we got to be looking at infrastructures like the ones that they're doing in Dubai and out of the country right now. Like, I feel like the United States is a little bit behind, which I kind of like being not the first one to do things because we can learn from those mistakes.
Right.
But, I mean, that train city that they're trying to make, that linear city that they're trying to make, that's incredible. Like, if we do something like that in the desert. Yeah.
So you know that one that light rail or whatever they're calling it,
Right.
it's already connected Miami and Orlando.
Yeah.
I just was watching some YouTube videos the other day on it, and the guys were raving about how nice the train was, how it was fast, how it was comfortable.
I think it needs to be faster, if I'm honest. I just feel
right,
like
it should.
Look,
We're
we got
2024,
dude,
bro.
This is the United States. We got Elon Musk.
Yeah.
We got smart people in here. Give them the freedom to create the technology to get us over there like as fast as a rocket does. Like, imagine Tampa and Miami linked like that, dude. It would be insane.
Dude.
Why are we not doing this already? Like, we got the technology.
Yes. Dude, guys, link Tampa and Orlando, for God's sake.
Absolutely.
How long would it take on a train? Because it takes us, 45 minutes to get over there and no traffic?
Right.
Dude, we could be in there on a train in like 15, 20 minutes.
Right.
I'd go to lunch in Orlando.
Dude, I see myself living in multiple cities, honestly. Like, I
Yes.
love Miami so much. I don't want to live there per se. I want to stay in Tampa, especially because of my family.
Yeah.
But if I could have a house over there and I could do business over there.
Of course.
Woo!
I
Wake
would
up in the
too.
morning, go to Miami, do some business, come back to Tampa. Like, can we make that happen? Like, come on.
For the love of God. Hey,
Anyways,
and whoever got rid of the Concorde, while he's talking about that, I'm still butthurt. You guys got rid of supersonic travel like 20 years ago, and it's 2024, and we can't even go to Europe on a supersonic jet.
You know what
Come
it
on.
is? You know what it is? That's the problem a little bit with capitalism, that sometimes you can buy certain things or certain people that want to prove certain things. So, we need smarter people that can beat this already,
Elon.
Right. Come on, man. Like, we gotta get
Help
this
us
going.
out.
We need to move this country forward. We're tired of the old technology. I do love the old infrastructures, old buildings, old houses.
Yeah.
We gotta keep the essence of the country, right? But in terms of futuristic stuff, it feels like we're a little bit behind.
Especially in transportation. Where are my flying cars, bro?
All right, guys. So let's go ahead and get talking here about this squatter situation. We got a woman in New York. I'm very sure she's Latina based on her name and her look. I'm just letting you know.
Are you profiling again? Don't pull her over.
But I really like this client. I mean, she's not my client, but I really like this person for what she did. And I hope that this opens the eyes of communities all around the United States. We need to change these laws for the homeowners.
Okay. Tell me what happened.
And for just people that are investors. Let's check it out. So So basically,
what happened?
What happened here is that somebody basically just moved into her house. Here, hold on. Yeah. All right. So just to be clear here, the cops are not at fault at this. The cops are
No.
just following the law. So
Please,
if you're one
God,
of
I
those
gotta learn
that,
about the law.
if you're one of those people that automatically, oh, why are the cops doing this? Like, please just be a little bit smarter. Get yourself into I'm not a lawyer, but I understand that just cops follow laws.
Okay.
And this has nothing to do with race or anything. This is basically a squatter law that allows them to stay at the house for a certain amount of time. We have some of those laws here in Florida as well.
What? All right,
Yeah.
finish this.
How do you say your name and they interrupt her? So just so you guys know, she was trying to sell it. So you empty your house out to try to sell it,
Yeah.
and a squatter moves in. Think about that. That's
Okay.
BS, 100%. Let's keep going here. We're gonna talk about that too. So the amount of time that it takes for a squatter to be able to legally stay at your house. In this case, even if you start the process, you get caught up in situations like this where by the time you're done with the process, you gotta get a lawyer involved or something else involved. So the law does not help the homeowners.
What?
Okay, so that
Good.
was good. That was good.
All
And
right.
I'm gonna tell
He's
you
a
about something that happened to
fucking
me.
burglar.
Yeah.
I mean, they had to break in the house first.
All right, so that's pretty much it. I do want to I want to show you guys too. Here's the invasion that happened literally yesterday in El Paso, Texas. There's a reason why I'm showing you guys this. You seen this, Frank?
No.
This was yesterday morning.
What country
The United States of
would
America.
let people do that? Do you think I could go do this in another country
No.
and not get shot?
No. So why am I showing you this? Guys, this is live. This was live by CNN. This is CNN reporting it too, which is good that the other side is kind of reporting on this now. The
Kinda
point
hard
is
to
that
ignore.
listen, I've had talks with other people. I mean, I'm an immigrant myself. I have certain other people that are around my circle, and they completely agree with we need to do better than this.
Yeah.
It's completely absurd. And then we get people like this coming in. Check this out. I'm going to translate. I know you can read it, but I'm going to translate as well. It says, "My people, I have thought about invading a home in the United States. Now that I know that there's a law that says that if the house is not occupied, we could seize it. Do you copy? Muchachos, here in the United States, there's also the law of invasion of territory. That what he just mentioned right there, he's referring to Venezuela. These guys from Venezuela, which by the way, guys, please don't be the type of person that just judges people based on where they're from. Every country has bad people, good and bad people.
Yeah.
All right, there's
Every
a bunch
race,
of good
every
people. There's a
country,
bunch of good
everything.
people coming in, And I get that, but this is ridiculous. This is the type of people that are coming into the United States, and this is not okay. Like, we need to fix this ASAP. These are criminals that are being released by communist countries. I don't know if there's a side business going on or what it is. I know Joe Biden just went through his case. Did you hear about that? They got a bunch of evidence on him of money that he was laundering with his son. And a bunch, we got to talk about that case, but we'll do it on the next episode. It's big.
It's a good one. It just came out?
Byron, Byron Buxton is his name, the state attorney. So AOC, you know who AOC is?
Yeah.
I'll show you guys in the next episode. But AOC came out saying, "Show me where the crime is. I don't see the crime." You know that woman just.
That guy that they interviewed, and he said Rico.
Yeah.
And then she goes, "Rico's not a crime."
Right.
What?
Right.
That's what they used to bust the mafia for 70 years.
So on that same case, Byron Buxton afterwards came out with all the every single evidence, all the paperwork on how this happened, and it's back-to-back paperwork. I'll list it on the next episode because that's good. But the point is that nothing's gonna happen to Biden. He's in charge right now, and most of these things will probably come out once Trump takes over office, and the truth will get spilled all over the place.
Let's hope.
Yeah, bro, come on now, it better happen. All right, so let's keep listening to this guy. Oh, and he says, he ends it with, "This will be my next business."
Invading homes.
Come on now, guys. Like, if this is not a sign for you to talk to your city councils, to vote, in a way where, I mean, if people are gonna start taking over, like the mayor or any politicians that are gonna be trying to take over cities, this is something they need to attack, because homeowners everywhere are afraid of this stuff. People are afraid of renting their houses. I got an experience. So basically, when I bought my very first home, I went through a period of hardship and I couldn't pay it. You know, I got let go of my job at McDonald's, etc. I couldn't pay the house, and I stopped making payments on the mortgage. I got really, desperate or nervous that the bank was just going to take my house. Come to find out, I get to an attorney, and the attorney tells me that we can fight the case and I can actually live in the house for longer. Maybe 2-3 years or whatever, until I'm able to get back on my feet, and then we could do a mortgage adjustment or something where the mortgage company can help me, resume my payments.
Yeah, he was going to fight the foreclosure, essentially.
Long story short, I was able to solve everything. The mortgage company helped me out. I was able to make payments again, etc. But during the time that I couldn't make payments, I left the house. I guess there was a notice on the city that the house was going through pre-foreclosure or something, or payments were not made.
It's a public record filing.
Right, it's a public record. And there are criminals out there that look at these records to look for houses that are empty. So in this case, I've had people that I know, like Hispanics that I've known, good people that have taken advantage of that, and they move into a house. But the difference between good people and criminals is the following. If the bank has come to those people that are living in these houses, like they send an inspector or somebody to come to those houses, and they see the people that are in it, they see that the house is in good conditions, and sometimes the bank are actually like okay with people staying in the houses because they keep up with it.
Because they maintain it.
And they maintain the value of the house.
Right.
But whatever happens, the moment the bank wants them out, or if the homeowners or whatever wants them out, this good people that are doing this thing that I don't think they should do, but they need housing and they found one or whatever, this good people actually leave.
Right.
What happened to me was that I had an organized crime person that made a fake lease. You saw how that cop asked that lady about the if they have anything that says that they've been here longer than 30 days. Did you saw that, how I put that in that video? Okay, so I come to my house. I come back to the house because now I know I can live in it and I can fight the bank and try to, basically come to a deal with the bank. I come back to the house and we're trying to, work my situation out or whatever. And anyways, I try to open the door and my lock was changed, just like hers. I go to the back of the house and I realize that the sliding door, somebody broke in. There's like evidence of somebody breaking in. So I started freaking out. I start going to, is that yours?
I think it's mine. I'm going to shut it off. Go, keep going.
I start going through basically all sorts of, emotions. I wanted to, in some way, like just
kill him.
Yeah,
literally.
Honestly, luckily I had a friend with me and I had talked to a lawyer prior to, right? So anyways, this lady comes in and parks. Her name was Alicia Burton. I'm going to say her name loud and clear because Alicia. I hate people like this.
Yeah.
I truly have a desire to kick these squatters out of their houses. So if you're going through any harsh situations like this, like they made it a fake list or anything like that, guys, contact me. I got your back. I got the lawyer that can take him out. It's not, extremely expensive, and you could get your house back, and I can do whatever you want with it, after that or whatever. But the point is that you do not have to allow the squatter to take over your house or anything like that.
How'd you get him out? What'd you do?
So basically, I called the attorney. she told me that her husband was coming, and I knew that if the husband showed up, because the way I was raised, Frank, I could never put my hands on a woman, even though I kind of wanted to, if I'm honest. But I just couldn't. But I saw the bullshit. She literally said, Carlos, you're Carlos Rojas. Oh, you remember we signed the agreement? And I'm like, I didn't sign nothing with you. Who are you? Like, this is my house. What are you doing here? And she tried to pretend like she knew me. And I'm like, you don't know me. You have no, like, I've never seen you in my life. And she didn't have an agreement at the moment. But I called the cops. I called my attorney. My attorney asked me to ask the person if she could leave willingly. And I basically said, and she basically said, yeah, I can leave in a week or so. And that kind of like solved the situation a little bit. When the cops got there, though, they told me I can't take anything out of hers. They told me that they asked her for the lease agreement, and she told them that she doesn't have it with her, but that she does have one. And the next day, she had an agreement.
With your fake signature.
Right. Like, the laws are so weak. Like, it makes no sense. I understand that, they have to protect the tenants too, right? Because the landlord can make a weak contract as well and say,
but this was your primary residence.
Right.
So, Carlos, what if you had showed up with a gun and you had walked in and pointed it at her and said, get the F out of my house before I shoot you?
I don't know, Frank.
Because we have the castle law here in Florida.
I don't know, but if they have an agreement that states that they were legally inside that house, you cannot do that. So you would probably go to jail, and maybe for the rest of your life. So if you're a homeowner, don't do that. The way to defend this is to put a camera system in your house, to put a security system so that you have proof. So if you're an investor and you have an empty house, regardless of what the situation is, if you have an empty place, no matter what it is, just put a camera system on it. That's the best way to protect yourself from anything like this, or some type of alarm system, so that you can protect yourself from this.
Yeah, put an alarm so at least the alarm goes off.
Guys, I got a couple more things. Yeah, I got a couple more things. And by the way, again, like, don't let people like this take over. Like, we need to take this country back to its owners. Like, this is our country. Stop allowing this BS to keep happening. As Americans, we got to vote better. We got to represent people better. Like, we got to do just better business overall and better things overall as a country, and just unite. This is the moment. Like, this stuff, if this stuff is not uniting you with your fellow Americans, there's something wrong with you. Like,
this is going to end up, somebody's going to shoot somebody.
Right.
And this is going to end up in the Supreme Court, and then we're going to get the justice.
Well,
I hope
you're talking about that situation.
Well, whatever. Yeah.
Well, an illegal killed, already. There's illegals that have killed already, citizens of the United States. I'm not for that either. Like, that should not be happening. But
some senator recently is trying to push for a law for them to be allowed to carry guns.
Guys, so I do want to just bring a couple of notices. I'm Cuban, so I feel like I have to say this. Cuba is going through a protest right now. The people are throwing themselves to the street. It started with a church that wanted to pray for freedom and Cuban lives and stuff like that, and the government basically shut it all down. And I guess the wrath of God came along or something, because now the streets are all over Cuba. And the only city that we're waiting for is Havana, which is the big city. And
it's coming to Havana.
Yeah. They're asking.
Strange, I haven't heard about that.
Yeah,
why have I not heard about this?
I'm gonna show you a little video here.
Yeah.
But basically, I'm not gonna show you videos of the protests. I did that on my other podcast, the Hispanic podcast. But the reason why I want to bring it up is because you may see some Cubans in Tampa that are protesting as well in favor of that.
Yeah.
And some of these protesters are not doing a good job. For example, guys, if you're protesting, if you're Cuban and you feel passionate about this like I am, don't get in the middle of the street.
Oh, yeah.
Like, don't block traffic. Like, it's just really stupid. You're going to get arrested. You're going to get in trouble.
You're going to get hurt.
You're going to get hurt. I got a video here from Fox News in Tampa of what they were doing. I believe this was in Himes and Del Mary.
Oh, wow. Oh, come on. They started a fire here?
So they started a fire in the middle. You can see the Cuban flag waving around. This was on March 17th.
That's so stupid, because that doesn't get people behind you doing that type of stuff.
And they had a shopper getting it. You're talking about somebody has gas on his hands. Look, the fire is going along over here. I mean, if that fire just travels up the gas tank, he can blow up. Obviously, this is the nightlife. This is a street in Tampa. I used to hang out with these people. I don't know about you, Frank. This used to be my friends back when I was in high school.
Yeah. So
I get it and I understand it. But this is stupid. You guys need to stop doing this. Get to the sidewalks like everybody else does when there's a protest. What's going on in Cuba is something that I feel like Cubans need to fix.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about the Cubans that are, in the island, not the ones here.
Right.
I went to the White House to protest when the first people started coming out. And Joe Biden gives two craps about Cuba. He did not come out to even say, thank you to you guys for fighting for freedom or anything like that. Because
he doesn't fight for freedom.
Other protests break out, and some other protests that I don't even agree with, because they don't even talk about freedom or any of those things. He comes out and supports that, and some of these protests actually disrespect the White House and disrespect the nation and disrespect honor and a bunch of things. And he approves all of that, and he says thank you to all of that. But we're fighting for freedom here. Cubans that have exited Cuba. And, he doesn't, we can't even go to the White House because we're not even going to get support. We're just going to be there for no reason, basically, is what the treatment that we got when he took office in 2021. So to my Cubans that are, that know any of these people, please suggest not to do this. This kid, look at this. This kid is going to get arrested, as you can see here. And it's dumb because.
That's so dumb.
It just doesn't need to happen.
When you're blocking traffic like that, you're pissing people off. And then people are not going to support your cause.
Absolutely.
So
you see another piece of fire going on.
Yeah,
we don't know if that could start another fire. So that's when the cop comes over, blocks him in, or tries to block him in. Yeah. So again, please, if you're Cuban, you're in Tampa, let's get the word out. Let's talk to these kids. If you have teenagers that you're around, please talk to them. Make sure they don't get involved in this stuff. We don't want nobody getting arrested. At the end of the day, if you really want to protest and you want your voice to be heard, getting arrested is not the answer. Getting arrested is just entertainment for a lot of people. Yep. And if you want to let Americans know about what's going on, you just talk. Yep. I mean, nobody understands freedom more than Americans. So just talk, get the word out, get to the sidelines, get to the sidewalks. Don't be in the middle of the street. That is just plain stupid, in my opinion.
I'm with you.
Unless we're talking about an issue that has to do with America itself and it's big enough. This Cuba issue is huge for us Cubans. But
for example, if Trump doesn't get elected.
Right. And you know what? Trump was backing a lot of Cubans up, especially the ones in Miami and the exile. So I hope, that he would talk to people about this, or that, I don't know. My dream is for Cuba to be free.
Me too.
I want to be the realtor.
Such a beautiful country.
I want to be the realtor that sells your property in Cuba and other properties in Cuba on the beach, a beautiful beach,
I will want one
with that
right
little
away.
cafecito. Let's go.
Let's go.
All right. And lastly, guys, I got one more thing here. My wife has decided to dedicate herself to Frenchies. We have Frenchies that, my wife, my whole life since I started dating her, she wanted a Frenchie. And finally, we were able to get one thanks to some friend of ours that introduced us to a trainer that had one. And we got one at a really good deal anyways. The point is that we got pups. We got beautiful puppies. And I want to show you guys a little video here.
Look at that.
And you can reach me for this information as well. And I'll put you in contact with my wife so that we can make it happen. But check this out. Check how cute these puppies are, guys. Like, just want to let you guys know.
Oh, my God.
I want to support her with this. And let me just tell you guys, she's done an absolute amazing job. She's been waking up every 2 hours to breastfeed. Just the whole deal. I mean, these puppies are C-section. They're not naturally born because they have big heads and small bodies. And, they just came out amazing. All 6 of them are alive and well.
Is there a runt or not?
I don't think so.
Doesn't look like there is what I'm saying.
The runt would be the smallest one, we would think, but that's the mom right there.
Yeah.
But the smallest one is actually more valuable because they're kind of like the micros.
Yeah.
Which is not like a real thing, but people tend to want smaller ones, which is this one right here.
I could tell that was a good one. Hey, I do want to mention the listing really quick. Yeah, I know my phone's going off too.
Go ahead.
We have a listing right now. I do actually personally. I've had it listed for a long time, and I'm willing to pay all the closing costs for your buyers. Get you in. We have a 100% program. We can get you in on.
Address, Frank?
1394 Davis Road in Dunedin. 1394 Davis Road.
Go ahead. I'm putting the listing on right here for you guys on the screen so you can see some pictures here.
Super cute little house, fully renovated. It's a corner lot. It's bicycling right to downtown Dunedin. Look how close you are to the water right there. Great location. Again, I'm the owner. I'll cover your closing cost on
guys,
this house.
This looks really good.
Look at this thing.
And you pay buyer's commission, right, Frank?
I will pay a buyer's commission. I will pay closing costs.
Hey, give me a call, and I'll get you into this house right away,
Seriously,
guys.
right away.
Look at how pretty everything is. I know Frank does things big, big time. He don't go cheap with his stuff. So
there's an open house this weekend, Saturday and Sunday,
your
10
wife
to 12.
takes care of the.
She does all the renovations,
which is great. You guys can see this is a beautiful renovation right here. I'm sure it's going to look even as beautiful in person, if not better.
It will.
So if you want to see it, go ahead and give me a call. I'll get you in contact
Big yard too. Look at that yard, man.
Yeah, that's
You can
pretty
put
nice.
an ADU in that thing.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised he hasn't sold yet.
I'm very surprised. So,
Yeah.
and we've had a roof inspection, AC inspection, all kinds of stuff already ready to go for you.
That's good. All right, guys. So this concludes our episode. We want to thank you guys for being here with us. Please share. Please comment on the next episode. We got no comments here today, and I think it might have been my fault. Maybe I messed up, so I'm gonna check it out because we were at least supposed to have one viewer, which is my wife, and I spoke with her. So I might have messed up, and on the next one we'll get more comments. But regardless, I know you're gonna end up seeing this episode once I put it public or something, because I must have done something wrong. But love you guys. Please share. Please like. Hit that bell button, and we'll see you on the next one, episode 11, coming up next week. Much love and peace out.
See ya.